They don't ask how you win them. They ask how many. They ask how many. Holy shit. I didn't even say that confidently. I didn't even say that confidently because that's how ugly this game was. Holy hell. Holy hell. I guess we should have expected something ugly like that in week 1. The starters really don't play any snaps of the preseason. It's basically only just, the practices and all that stuff. But oh my God, they looked out of sync. Jalen Hurts, the offensive line, just, miscommunications all over the place. It just looked very sloppy. The play calling by Brian Johnson was a lot to be left desired. I can understand it in the beginning stages of the game because the rain was coming down hard in Foxborough. So I can understand going very heavy on the run. Don't want to force the throw or anything like that just because it can be slippery out there. But then it just kind of felt like, you were going very throw happy as the game went on. And the play calling just wasn't the best. It just, when you get in the 3rd and long situations, it just looked too safe. It just looked too simple, just a simple screenplay or something. It just didn't have that good feel. It didn't have that good feel, which is, it's week 1. It's week 1. There's no need to overreact right now. This is, getting the kinks all out. The most important thing is you won the game, but definitely if you're Brian Johnson, if you're this offense, you're going to have to look at a lot of the tape. You're going to have to work some kinks out because this is a quick turnaround. A very quick turnaround because you're playing Thursday Night Football this upcoming week against Minnesota at home. So it's going to be a very quick turnaround. And that Minnesota team also lost their first game. So they're going to be very hungry. And I guess I'll give credit to the Patriots because they definitely did adjust a lot defensively and offensively, especially with the way the game started. A pick 6 by Darius Slay. Pops out of the receiver's hands, lands into Darius Slay's hands. He runs the whole 70 yards to the end zone for the score. Very electric stuff. And then the very next drive for the Patriots, it's a fumble forced by Jordan Davis. So 2 turnovers immediately made by your defense. And I thought overall with this game that the defense actually came up very huge for you. It's just when you go into so many situations where you're 3 and out so many times in a row, and the defense just has to keep getting back out there because the defense even forced the Patriots into a nice long stretch of 3 and outs. But when you're forcing the defense just to go up and out, in and out, in and out, in and out onto the field, so many times when you're not able to get any type of consistent play drive going there, it's going to get the defense a little tired. And that's exactly what happened on those, few situations in the second quarter where Mac Jones was just completely abusing the middle of the field. The linebacker situation for the Eagles definitely was a sketchy situation coming into the season, and it definitely reared its ugly head today because a lot of the guys, the linebackers, all that stuff, they got obliterated. They definitely got obliterated in this game, and it also doesn't help that Nakobe Dean leaves the game early and is seen in a brace on his foot. So that definitely isn't a nice sight for the next game. Most likely you can expect him to be out. And definitely there were some, a lot of situations where, Fletcher Cox dozed down for a little bit near the end of the game. So that's a scary situation going off of the field slow. James Bradbury had a little bit of a scare. So definitely it's going to be a wary season. You got to try to stay healthy. And so far, there's, quite a bit of banged up players in this first week. And just going back to the offense and the play calling, it just goes to the fact that, Jalen Hurts didn't have his best game at all. No. He has that huge fumble near the end of the game where I don't know what the play call there was from Brian Johnson forcing Jalen to go up the middle. If you're going to force a play like that, why not just use the guy like Gainwell? Why not use Swift? Literally, DeAndre Swift barely had any touches in this game running the ball. He had a few screen passes and all that stuff, but he was barely used. And then you also had Rashad Penny healthy scratched for today's game, so that definitely was a confusing thing there. So the running game got shut down early, and it just kind of felt like Brian Johnson was afraid to go back to that territory, or he was just forcing Jalen Hurts to do everything himself. And Hurts made some nice plays, no doubt. But there were also some plays left to be desired. You know, this was a very stressful game. This was a very close, even though I did say coming into this was going to be a closer game than some people thought. I said 30-20 was going to be the final score, and we were very close to that, 25-20. So it was down to the wire. It came down to, a 4th and long play in the few dying seconds of the game where Mac Jones puts a nice pass, but the receiver wasn't able to plant both of his feet down. Thankfully, one of the feet landed out of bounds, and it was an incomplete pass. So, thankful to that you caught a break. But then, there were some penalties that didn't go the Eagles' way, or some stupid penalties that the Eagles did take. I believe there was a hold on Jordan Mailata when the offense was, putting a nice drive together, which made it, 2nd and long, and the Eagles weren't able to do anything after that. So, it's just, this is the week to get all the kinks out. Definitely is. Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts. Dallas Goedert didn't get any touches today either. Did not get any targets, I believe. So that's definitely got to change because Dallas Goedert is a huge factor into your offense. But also you see some nice plays from Jalen Hurts, like on the touchdown after the fumble recovery. He makes a perfect throw to Devontae Smith in the end zone as he's falling down. He does the little cradle celebration, celebrating his newborn. So that was nice to see. A.J. Brown made some nice catches in this game. It kind of felt like they were, targeting specific players on specific drives. There was one drive where Devontae Smith was the main primary target, and then there was another drive where, towards the end of the game, where A.J. Brown was the primary guy. And he also made a fantastic catch closer towards the end of the game. It was a perfect throw by Jalen. Just sadly, it was a bobble a little bit by A.J. Brown. Wasn't enough to show that he had full possession of the ball. It was originally called a catch on the field, but they went into review, and the latest challenge flag I've ever seen in my life from Bill Belichick, somehow he got it down in time before the snap, which I'm still a little bit skeptical of. But, on the replay, you just see that little bobble, and it wasn't, the prettiest thing in the world. So it was kind of obvious that play was going to get called back. So... And there were also some things, for the Patriots, they were starting to get calls on them in the second half, which definitely helped the Eagles out a little bit as well. So that was definitely nice to see. But there's also, just stupid things towards the end of the game where, okay, you stop the Patriots on a 4th down in the red zone. They try to go for it there. They can't convert anything. You actually almost intercept the ball. Just pops in and out of the defender's hand. But all you have to do is run the ball. Run the ball, get first downs, make them waste their timeouts. You don't get a first down. They don't even have to waste all of their timeouts. They only waste 2. And then you decide to go for it on 4th and 2 on a pass. If you're going to go for it on 4th and 2, utilize a run play. Utilize Jalen Hurts' legs. Use Gainwell. Use Swift or something. So those guys could definitely pick up some short yardage using the blocking help from the offensive line. Why are we doing a little bit of a quick passing play to A.J. Brown on 4th and 2 when also you could have just punted and put the Patriots in deep field territory? It just didn't make sense. But thankfully, the defense comes up very huge for you. Jalen Carter was amazing in this game. Got so much pressure on Mac Jones. Actually got a sack later on in the game. Same thing with Jordan Davis. So that was nice to see those two guys that are going to be huge for this team on that defensive front, make some huge plays. But it also kind of was a lot to be left desired because the Patriots, they had 3 key injuries to their, their offensive line front. And the Eagles barely were able to get to Jones throughout the entire game. And I thought that was going to be the process going into it for New England because it's going to be, the Eagles' defensive line. They're going to pressure you the entire game. They're going to get the ball out quickly. They're going to be utilizing screen passes. They're going to be trying to utilize the run game. Oh, yeah, also for Sean Desai, one thing that he definitely needs to work on with this defense, the screen pass killed them in this game. Killed them. It was not good. It was not a good look. But overall, I still thought the defense was good more times than not. They were just gassed because the offense just kept going in and out of the field, And it just kept forcing the defense to go out there and try to hold the Patriots to as much as they can. Eventually, a team's going to, exploit that because they can sense that the defense is getting tired. So there's the thing. And there were also some things on the Patriots touchdowns where it kind of felt like guys were getting a little too wide open. There was also, some 4th and long situations where, of course, they get this, one-handed lucky-ass catch that somehow is made, I have no idea, by Henry, I believe it was. And then you're also getting plays throughout the game where, Juju drops the easiest pass in the goddamn world, or the Patriots just look lost. It was a weird game. It was a week 1 of the NFL season type of game. There were a lot of mistakes. There were a lot of sloppiness. And it was a very, very close game. You could have seen that from all the games around the league today. There were so many close ones. There were so many weird ones. You see the freaking, you see the Chiefs on Thursday. They lose that game to Detroit because the receivers for Pat Mahomes couldn't catch shit without Travis Kelce. And then for this week, did you see the Bengals play the Browns? They got destroyed. They got shut down. They only scored 3 points, I believe, if that's the case for Cleveland. Not Cleveland, for Cincinnati. Yeah, they only scored 3 points. Then you also see Tampa Bay beat Minnesota. You see Green Bay crush Chicago. A back-and-forth battle between the Chargers and the Dolphins. The Rams destroy Seattle. And currently, right now, the Dallas and the Giants are playing, and we just saw I believe it was a blocked field goal or a blocked punt returned for a touchdown for Dallas. So that's definitely interesting there. But in looking at some other games as well, New Orleans beat Tennessee, Atlanta destroyed Carolina, San Francisco destroyed Pittsburgh. That game was awful. Pittsburgh looked lost. I was watching that to start the day off during the Phillies. Don't even get me started about the Phillies because they pissed me the fuck off today. They pissed me off mightily. I was planning to do a stream for them, but I'm so emotionally drained from today that it's just going to be Eagles for tonight because I'm eventually going to have to do some editing and all that stuff. So, yeah, the Phillies really drained a lot of the energy out of me before the Eagles game even started because, oh boy, choking a 3-0 lead, and Sir Anthony Dominguez is lost, and oh my god, they can't hit with runners in scoring position again. So, September Phillies at their finest. At their finest. Huge series with the Braves upcoming. Oh boy, I'm not confident for that. But back to the Eagles. Just looking at some of the stats for today. Jalen Hurts, definitely not a good game for him, in my honest opinion. 22 of 13 in the throwing, only 170 yards, there. One beautiful touchdown pass to Devontae Smith. He got sacked a few times, so the offensive line, I guess the speed of New England was getting to them a little bit at the start of the game, but the offensive line did, come up with some huge things towards the end of the game. But at the end of the day, the offense was just making too many mistakes. In terms of rushing, Kenneth Gainwell, he had 14 carries for 54 yards. Jalen Hurts had 9 of those. Boston Scott had 1, and DeAndre Swift only had 1 carry for 3 yards. And that just can't happen. These guys, Penny and Swift were big acquisitions for you to expand the running back room, and you barely use those guys. Penny with the healthy scratch. Looking at the receiving today, A.J. Brown had a fantastic game, in my honest opinion, even for the lack of targets. 79 yards on 7 receptions. Devontae Smith had 47 yards on 7 receptions. Kenny Gainwell had 4 receptions for 20. Quez Watkins had 2 for 17 yards. Boston Scott had a reception. Boston Scott and DeAndre Swift had more targets than Dallas Goedert got. Goedert had 1 target in the game. And, Jesus. Gotta be using Dallas Goedert more. He is such a huge factor into this offense. But also credit offensively, credit Jake Elliott. Can get a lot of deep field goals in this game. Definitely the player of the game right there, if I do say so myself, for the Eagles. And right now it just looks like, because I'm peeking up to the Dallas game, the Dallas offense right now is just plowing down through New York so far. So that's definitely going to be an interesting thing for Cowboys fans. But defensively, Reed Blankenship, I thought, had a pretty solid game. Made some nice stops. There was one play where it looked like New England was going to convert. I believe it was a 3rd down, and he forced a 4th down here. Blankenship made a nice stop there. to prevent a little bit of a first down. So I thought he had some nice plays. Who else? Avonte Maddox made some nice tackles as well. Nakobe Dean in the linebacker core, they just got torched. They just definitely got torched. You know, you got Darius Slay with the interception, Josh Sweat with a couple of pressures there. He almost had an interception in this game, too. Jalen Carter was amazing, in my opinion. Same thing with Jordan Davis. Who else? I'm trying to think. Who else? Trying to think overall. I'm trying to look at Sidney Brown on special teams. There was a lot of situations. I believe it was also Josh Jobe as well. For some reason on the punts early in the game, the Patriots just didn't decide to call fair catches. And oh my God, Sidney Brown just absolutely leveled the punt returner. Like, holy shit. No wonder why people are saying he's going to be a fan favorite here. He absolutely murdered the guy. Same thing with Josh Jobe, too. Same thing there. But, man, it's just, you know, it's week 1. I'm not, kind of wish it was a little more dominating just to give, the entertainment value there, not the stress value. But I guess that's what we got to deal with. Then we're going to be moving on to this Thursday. Of course, it's, short week. So, quick memories, quick things to learn. Got to see what happens there. Hopefully, we can get put on a show for the home opener. Hopefully, they can put on a show there for the first Thursday night game. It's weird, too, because we had this Sunday game. We're going to be having the Thursday night game this upcoming week. And then we're going to be automatically thrown into Monday Night Football as well. I believe that's against Tampa Bay. So, getting some nationally, primetime broadcasts over the next couple of weeks here. So that's definitely going to be interesting on that factor. But, I expect Jalen Hurts to improve after this game. I'm not worried about him in the slightest. Of course, there's overreactive Eagles fans and, of course, the Jalen Hurts haters who were hiding in their closets basically all of last season. They came out today. They came out today because Hurts didn't have a good game. And I think we should be able to admit that. He didn't have a good game. But for the player that he is, knows how to take accountability, knows how to improve himself, I am sure he'll be fine for the second game. Honestly, I could see this Eagles offense going off in week 2. I could definitely see that on Thursday. Put up a little show for the home crowd. Yeah, I could definitely see that. No doubt. No doubt. But still, yeah, that linebacker situation in the middle of the field, that's definitely going to be something that's going to be exploited a lot this year. So I wonder if Howie Roseman does something at the trade deadline to maybe supplement that a little bit, because it definitely does need to be fixed. So we're just going to see how the time goes here in terms of everything there. So, yeah. So looking at next week, you got the Vikings. So we'll see how that goes. And basically that's it. You're 1-0 to start the year. That's the most important thing to be. And she's got to clean it up. I need to see a lot more better things from Brian Johnson to improve this offense, because there's a lot of power in this offense, and it kind of just felt like he was getting too complacent out there. Getting a little too safe. Just being a little too safe for my liking. Play calling just needs to be better, in my opinion. Defensively, I thought they were fine. I think a lot of those big drives from New England was just because the offense was so tired and gassed the entire night. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Let's go to the Anytime Hotline here to discuss everything. You can leave those at 215-839-9885, your thoughts and opinions on anything Philly sports related, so definitely leave those there. You can also utilize the YouTube live feed. It's always for your use there. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing any Phillies recap tonight. I am too emotionally drained to talk Phillies. They pissed me off. We'll get back at it with them tomorrow with the doubleheader and the Braves. But let's go to Sean. Let's see what he has to say about the Eagles tonight. I'm sure he's going to be mentioning the Phillies in this too. I just have a feeling.
Well, I don't know about you, Amadeo, but I'm emotionally and physically drained. I mean, first of all, let's do a combo platter. Quick shout out to the Phillies for their gag job today. Way to fold like a cheap tent against the Marlins and let them back in the race, as they so often do. As for the Eagles, I won't be as critical, although I should. I mean, let's just say understatement of the year, there's a lot to clean up. But look at the league as a whole in game one and the inexplicable upsets that have happened just today and even going back to Thursday. It was just a strange week. But somebody has to explain to me what Nick Sirianni's doing. Why are you going for it on fourth down in your own end of the field with a 5-point lead? I thought for sure that was going to cost them. I didn't understand the offensive coaching strategy. I didn't really understand the defensive coaching strategy, but at the end of the day, you get a win. That's all that matters, but a lot to clean up before Thursday.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think for defense, I think it was just more them being gassed than anything. The linebacker situation, that's going to be torched the entire year because that is their weakest part of the field, and it looks like the Patriots figured that out a little bit during the game. But I think the defense was just obnoxiously gassed throughout the entire game because they were just getting put back onto the field so quickly because the offense could not do anything. And that goes to Brian Johnson, that goes to Jalen Hurts, that goes to how the offense was ran going into the game. It's got to be better. It's got to be way better. I can understand people not criticizing after week one just because it's, week one and there's been so much weirdness throughout the league this year. Well, not this year, week one. Like when you're talking about the upset, Sean, like I said, with Detroit in Thursday against Kansas City, with Cleveland against Cincinnati, with Tampa Bay, with Atlanta, Jacksonville beating Indianapolis, even though that's not really an upset there. What else? Vegas beating Denver. Who else? The Rams beating Seattle. So there's a lot of weirdness. There was a lot of bad quarterback play throughout the week as well. So I guess that's, apparent when most teams around the league now are not using their starters in preseason. So I guess we should expect this sloppiness in the first week and for it to be, fixed as the weeks go along. It was just a very ugly week of football, a very ugly first week. But still, football is back, and that's the most important thing. But yeah. Jesus. Just crazy stuff here, boys. Crazy stuff. But we got a game next week, so let's see what we're looking at. Vikings, Thursday Night Football, back in Philadelphia, back at the Link. It's basically the repeat of the home opener last year against Minnesota, except, this is on Thursday night. Last time was on Monday Night Football. Let's make it, basically the same thing. Minnesota, they tried to make some improvements on the offensive side, on the defensive side. They got shut down by Tampa Bay tonight. They're definitely going to be hungry coming into Philadelphia. Why not try to shut them down again? Why not? Why not make them 0-2 on the year? That'll be fun. I would like to see more use of DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. I would like to see that. I definitely would. We just got to see how things transpire. And basically, that's it. Move on to this week. Get a day off. You're going to have a quick turnaround. Look at the stuff that you got to improve. Look at the film. Look at everything. Go over stuff. And move on to Thursday. It's going to be a very quick turnaround here. It's probably going to be a very long week because of this goddamn Phillies team and the goddamn Atlanta Braves series. 2 games tomorrow, 4-game series, doubleheader. My God, this our Philadelphia sports driving us crazy at the worst possible times. My goodness. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for today, everybody. Like I said, I'm not doing a Phillies recap. I'm too emotionally drained. I'm tired. I'm still eating at the process. I took a break from my food because my food got here so late during the game. It basically got here like right around the game ended. So I chilled for a half hour to eat some of the food. Then I paused for a little bit to take a little bit of a break there, eating. Came on here. This is basically my break from eating. And then after that, I'm going to go eat and then do whatever I have to do for Brodes and all that stuff, editing-wise. So that's basically it. And also, I'm going to be watching the rest of this Dallas Giants game as the Dallas looks like they scored a touchdown off of an interception or a fumble. Either or, it was a defensive touchdown. I think that's 2 defensive touchdowns for them in this game. Let me look at this. Did Daniel Jones throw an interception? Was it? Yep, it was an interception. Nope. Okay, no, it was a fumble by Saquon Barkley. That led to the touchdown. But yep. It's going to do it for tonight, everybody. Eagles win. Most important thing. But they got a lot of crap to clean up. So let's see what happens on Thursday. So, thank you guys for joining tonight. I appreciate you all. As always, do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to check out everything in the description. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I definitely recommend joining the TTP Sports family. Very fun times here. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. We'll be back tomorrow with Phillies, complaining about them. Definitely stay tuned for that with this Braves series upcoming. Like I said, I have zero confidence in it. But that's for tomorrow, and we'll see what happens then. But for now, thank you for joining once again, everybody.